So the thing with this is I think that's better. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, so in order for me to do this, oh shoot, I have to do Edgar's Roos. Why don't we do something else? That's a bit of a long quest. Okay, we could do Ghost Ahoy. Bon Voyage. Let's do Ghost Ahoy. See if I'm able to do this. I am able to do this. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Ghost Ahoy. Welcome, ladies and germs. Let's see. Why don't we listen to some podcast while we're doing this? Three months ago, Andrew Tate and Jack Neal had a podcast, and this has over 1.6 million views.
We're good?
Yes.
Perfect.
I do not own the podcast. I'm just gonna listen to it while I do quests. Let's do it.
Andrew Tate, welcome back to the Jack Neal podcast.
Yeah, I think last time was Romania. I was locked up there, didn't have any prospect of getting free, and now here I am in a movie studio in LA. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, welcome to Hollywood. But yeah, we'll just get right into it. There was a recent clip of you and a few other influencers at a nightclub with Ye's song playing in the background. This quickly became an international incident.
You know what? I can't take a piss without getting an international incident. Do you have any idea the level of stress and heat that's on your head when you are constantly going through life thinking, if I stop at this donut store and buy a donut, it's going to end...
Hold on. I don't want to get banned from TikTok because I feel like that stuff right there is not allowed. Passive income is a lie. Here's what actually works. Okay, we're going to listen to that.
Here's how we helped our client, Dan, decrease lead costs by 60%, quadruple his business, and go from cash on ads to adding tens of thousands of dollars a month in recurring revenue every single month.
A lot of people ask me about storage units and all of these different things and how they can start making mailbox money. And this guy actually does both. He has the literal mailbox companies where people just, you know, rent the mailboxes and make money. And then he's got storage units, which is like kind of just a big mailbox when you really think about it. I've got my guy, Ramel Newworlds, here today, along with my bald co-host, Brian Davila. What's up, boys?
What's going on? I'm glad to be here.
What's up?
That's
Good to see you again.
disrespect.
Bro, I'm excited to talk about this because every time I have somebody with storage, it usually does pretty good. And every time, I've only done the mailbox thing once, and it just went mega crazy with Lisa Sutton. And so tell me about these businesses, man. Like, how'd you get into them?
So I've been in real estate for the past 12 plus years, but I started out on the residential side. So single families, duplexes. I was buying them all across the country in Milwaukee, St. Louis, Pennsylvania. I did that for about 7 years straight.
Were you renting them or you were flipping them? What were you
I
doing?
was buying and renting.
Okay.
Buying, holding, and renting, right? Just building out my portfolio. And I had about 40 plus properties. And the pandemic happened, 2020. So I had a good amount of tenants stop paying me rent.
Uh-huh.
But I'm still stuck with the mortgage, the taxes, the water. Because if you don't pay it, you're probably going to get condemned. So I was really just cash poor and equity rich. You know?
Davila,
I quit my
we've
job.
heard this story
I
before.
feel that. Yeah.
It's like a common story
Cash
out here with
poor,
single-family
equity
rental
rich.
owners.
And this is the crazy part because I had quit my 9-to-5 job because I thought I had this passive income and I wasn't
It
prepared.
wasn't passive?
It wasn't passive.
There's no income?
There was,
It wasn't
it was
passive.
neither passive nor income.
Not at all. Not at all. And I had to pivot, so I started to sell off my properties. And at that point, you know, during COVID, interest rates were super low. People were paying overpriced, you know. And one property in particular, I had a buyer offer me $20,000 over asking price, but he wanted the property to be delivered vacant. I had a tenant in there. I asked him to leave. I gave him cash for keys. I gave him $2,000. I don't care what you owe me. I just need you out. Sold that property, but I had to find his unit, his facility, his unit to put his belongings in for 90 days. That was the agreement. I'll leave, but I need you to help me find a storage unit. We looked everywhere.
You know what?
It was a waiting.
I feel like the quests are easy. In order for me to do the Dragon Slayer quest, I think the hardest part about that is getting the stats up. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So mining to 68, right?
list. Storage units booked up, and
We're
I'm
gonna
like
keep
scratching my
doing
head. Why is every single storage unit sold out? Why is there a waiting list? And that's when I started going down this YouTube and this Google, looking for self-storage and finding out the business out of it. Paid for a mastermind, and that's how I learned self-storage. And the money that I made from selling off that property, I reinvest and purchased my first self-storage. It was an 88-unit facility in Pennsylvania, $750,000. I did SBA, and that's how I got in the door and just kept buying self-storage, and the rest was history. I said, I'm not looking back to single families at all.
Dang.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. My very first successful business was flipping couches. And so this was in 2013. I was like, well, I need a place to store it. So that was my first endeavor into storage. And so, you know, I'm going across all these storage units, trying to find one close to me and stuff. And like, even back then, I was like, dang, dude, like it's hard to find like an actual unit that I can do what I want. So finally found one and set up shop there and ended up getting a few others as that business grew. But I remember I would always tell myself, I wasn't like really in real estate yet, but I was like, one day I'm gonna own this storage unit. Cause I was literally, I was there every day, multiple times a day. I think I have more experience in a storage unit than storage unit investors. Because I was boots on the ground for like 2 years flipping couches in the unit. So I saw the day-to-day
Flipping
of how much work it
couches.
took, which was zero.
That's wild.
Yeah.
There was literally one guy there. Him and I were best buds because he would hook me up on storage deals. And I'm like, so what do you do all day? And he's like, just sit here. There ain't much to do. And I would watch. There was literally no one ever there. And this was a massive storage facility. You know, one of the public storage ones now that are like, I don't even know how many units, but huge, hundreds of units. And there was one person probably making $50K a year just babysitting this place.
Damn.
I'm on Facebook all day.
50K.
And there's no maintenance. There's no kitchens. There's no toilets.
How much were you paying? Do you remember?
I mean, back then, that was over a decade ago. It was like $150 a month. But I had a big one. I had a 10 by 30, so I could pull up with the truck and take the couches in and out.
Got it.
How big are your units? Like, what are the sizes?
So that my first one was an 88 unit. Then I have bought a 240 unit. I bought another 120 units. So it varies based upon.
What was like the mix of the sizes though?
Oh, 10 by 10s primarily. You have 5 by 5s, but primarily it's 10 by 10s.
Okay, so they were any of them drive up?
All drive up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all drive up.
Oh.
So I buy them. So I go for mom and pop. So like the public storage that you were at, that's the big reach.
That's the big
corporate. I
boys.
go for more small mom and pop, hour out of the city, hour and a half out, drive up facility, drive up that you can actually, open up the unit, non-climate control,
Okay.
we scale.
Just so you know, every podcast, Brian's goal is to start a new business. So he's
Yeah.
he's actively listening
Yeah.
to how
I'm
good you
drooling
make-
already.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have,
Let's make it happen.
yeah, the question that I have is how much money are you making from self-storage?
Over 150,000 a month right now, collectively. That's not.
That's gross.
That's gross. That's
Okay,
gross.
okay.
And it's because is not just self-storage itself.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of affiliate revenue. So U-Haul is an affiliate partner that we have. So
Oh, okay. So
U-Haul-
they like sponsor your storage spot or something?
No, so what happens is a U-Haul partnership program. So they'll put the trucks on my facility. So for example, one of their locations, we have 2 trucks.
Mhm.
And U-Haul, they rent out the trucks, they manage it, is remote. But we get paid commissions, 30% commissions every single month
Oh, okay.
based upon what U-Haul's bringing in.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
we have affiliate partnerships with local moving companies. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of affiliate revenue that comes in just from running the self-storage business.
got it.
Yeah.
So you gross 150.
Yeah.
What do you like net on that?
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store, preload.
And so we had, I would say, about 70,000.
70,000 a month?
A year.
A year?
Yeah, about,
Okay. From like 300 units?
not a month. Not a year, month.
A month. Okay, so 70,000 a month, and that's on like 400 units about. That's really good.
Yeah.
There's
We got over 500 units right now.
We just had a different person on that had 500 units, in rentals, and guess how much they were making?
You can make so much
How much?
money. You just have to find the niche. If you're able to like hit that niche, and let's say like in New York City, right? If there's a niche that's not been hit and you go after that niche, you're gonna make so much money.
$10,000 a month. Zero.
No.
Oh,
Just apartment.
Oh, rental. Okay.
Yeah.
I was say, yeah.
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 I feel
So
like there's
tell me about like that first deal. So 750K. So it's not like a crazy big purchase or
No.
anything.
No.
So, but it had 58 units. Like what were the numbers? Like what was it grossing? What are the expenses on that? How does it come out?
It's 88. It was 88 units. 750,000 was the purchase price. Down payment was 75,000. I came to the table about 90 grand because SBA they charge these guarantee fees and these different closing costs that come with it associated with it. It was bringing in about 8 grand a month initially.
Yeah.
When I purchased the facility, the mortgage on that was about 4 grand.
Mhm.
So initially in a walk-in, it wasn't bringing in too much money. And that's the reason why I was able, because we buy mismanaged, undervalued storage facilities.
Mm.
And the revenue that comes in, for example, right? I was actually able to save about $5,000 and add it to my net operating income every single month because we get rid of the person at the front desk. So we immediately save money just by implementing AI in a call center.
Mhm.
So now everything is done remotely. The previous owner, he had somebody in there paying him every single month.
Yeah.
So we do it remotely. We save that money, and I started to add more revenue and then grow it slowly over time.
Yeah, you definitely don't need somebody there.
No.
I can tell you, being on the ground there, I'm like,
No.
this guy literally is not doing nothing. But AI didn't exist back then,
Yeah.
like the way it does today. I have chat storage PT. He could easily do it.
Yeah.
What about now? Do you think these deals still work in today's market with today's prices?
It's tougher now.
Mhm.
Interest rates is higher, right? And just with the self-storage industry overall, we have brokers that's calling self-storage owners and letting them know that, hey, you can get this price, for your self-storage, you can sell it. So now they want more higher priced units, and the cost for labor, everything is up now. So it's a tighter deal, but it comes down to your underwriting. And for me, so for example, with one of the storage facilities that I purchased, it was a $450,000 purchase, seller financing. So $250,000 was the seller note at a 5.75% interest rate, right? And because the office space was just open because we run it remotely, I put the mailbox store in there. So now it's two businesses under one roof, but it's just one note. You know, so that's how you got to get creative essentially now with the self-storage space to be able to bring the revenue out of it that it once was until things start to, you know, get a little better and then, you know, you exit from it.
Yeah, I always tell people it's like storage and just like any kind of creative way to generate more revenue for like a piece of real estate. It's always just like a new business. It's like having a storage unit is a business. It's not like a real estate play per se. You know, how well do you get new occupants? You know, that requires marketing and sales. And then how well do you keep these people? Well, that's your churn rate and, you know, all these things. But like, so like back to the $750,000 deal, there's 88 units. What was the average one renting for?
Average about $85.
So $85. So you're looking at like $80K a month in revenue. Is that right? No, $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
$8,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay, so you're looking at $8,000 a month in revenue. And then what were the expenses? The mortgage was?
The mortgage was about $4,000.
$4,000. So you got $4K to work with here. What else were there in expenses?
You got the software. So the management software, because I fired.
Yeah.
You know, so we got the management software. We spent a little bit of money in ads. We just paid PPC.
Yep.
So that's about probably another $600 a month.
Okay.
You know, and that's pretty much it. So it's not a lot of expenses.
There's not upkeep too much.
Yeah, there's no water bill, electric. You know, so it's really not too much going on with that facility.
So it probably that's like $3K a month.
Correct.
Okay. And then the other ones, like what are some of the bigger deals?
So I used a 240 unit facility. So that one was $850,000. Did SBA, 10% down, about $110,000 total with closing costs. On the walk-in with that facility was about $24,000 a month, like walking into it. That was the gross revenue.
Yep.
Mismanaged facility because the rates was still 30% below market. And that's because the owner, he owned it for 20 plus years and had great deals and didn't want to increase his rents, how it typically goes. Mortgage on that was $7,000 a month. What else? Mortgage on it, $7,000 a month. The expenses was another about $7,000 because again, staffing. So that's really my strongest angle is when I'm looking at a facility, we can bring more money out of it simply by just cutting expenses and operating it remotely.
Yeah. How many of these are mismanaged in terms of like vacancy or just underpriced?
How many of the storage units or like storage facilities, like overall, you saying?
When you're looking at deals, like, are they pretty optimized for the most part?
No way. So we target mom and pop, and a lot of mom and pop owners that's been running it for 20 years, they don't have technology, right? It's usually the side business, really. For a lot of like mom and pop owners, it's usually, you know, for example, the one owner, he has a tax company, right? So he's an accountant. Another guy, he was an electrician. And self-storage is just another way they invest and they keep it simple. It's really operators like myself that come in and treat it as their main business that complicate it slightly and do all the cool things and revenue management. But most mom and pops, they are not operating at its full capacity.
So that one you walked into, it was already doing 24K. Like, what's it do today in revenue?
About $32,000 a month now.
So it's 32. You said the mortgage was $7,000. And then what are the other expenses with it?
Right now, management, because I do pay myself. I have a management company. I do pay myself. A management company is cheaper. So
because that's the call center and the software.
Exactly.
And everything.
Yeah. So that's about another $5,000 a month, and then everything else is really pure profit. So, and then I also have a boots on the ground. So I pay him $400 a month, and the boots on the ground
picks up trash and stuff.
Yeah. Go there 3 times a week just for an hour to make sure there's no trash.
Yeah.
Nobody's breaking into units.
Yep.
Cameras is not covered. You know, just simple maintenance stuff to go through there. But outside of that, it's really low maintenance, and you have high profit margins versus, you know, the residential that I come from.
Yeah. Where are these properties at? Because you sound cheap.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so the 3 facility, the 240 unit that I just talked about, that's in Pittsburgh. So it's about an hour out of Pittsburgh. Like it's called Franklin, Pennsylvania. But
Oh, okay.
it's an hour out of Pennsylvania. So what I target is Class C facilities.
Mhm.
That's about an hour and a half out of a major city.
It's like secondary markets or
Yeah.
even
Tertiary market, secondary markets, and the other one is in Alabama as well, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from Atlanta.
Is it hard to manage like these properties in different states at all?
No, because it's a simple business.
Yeah, there's less
It's
management.
like it's
Yeah.
nobody, and you know you was the customer, and you was more so there actively because you had
Yeah.
items there that you were using. But for the most part, a customer in self storage, they putting their items in there, they don't come back.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
self-storage
Like-
here for 2 years and I haven't been there once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And every time I see the bill, I'm like, I should just give them all my crap back. I'm serious. I'm like, I should
Yeah.
just stop paying and let them have it because we don't even use it.
Yeah, they just built a whole. So there was already a massive self storage by my house. It's like pretty big, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they just built another one
Mm.
down the street. I'm like, dude, the
Oh.
demand here must be insane.
Wasn't there
what?
like a self-storage bubble that popped?
yeah, and that was more so for the REITs, like the big boys,
Yeah.
because they were overpaying for a lot of facilities because it was just cheap money.
Yep.
And buying them, and now interest rates is going up. A lot of commercial loans are now maturing. Right?
Yes.
So that is true, but for the small mom and pop that was not over leveraged,
Yeah.
really,
That became popular to like buy land, build these big storage facilities, and then
Yeah,
like the market.
I haven't
crashed.
done that yet. I do have people that I know do it, but
Yeah.
you know, to carry that cost of like building in 6 months, 8 months, and carry the note to be able to build, and you got to do a feasibility study to make sure that there's a demand, because you can build the facility and where's the people? You know what I'm saying? So that happens.
I've had AJ Osborne on the podcast
Yeah.
a couple times, and I mean they own millions of square feet of storage, and so he's like messing with the big boys and stuff. But I remember when we almost partnered on a deal here in Vegas where we were going to convert a Kmart.
I remember that.
And so we walked the Kmart and all these things, and it was like his plans and everything,
Yeah.
but we couldn't get the city to approve it.
Mm.
Oh man.
I know. I was like, this would be tight. Like this would be good content.
Yeah. Your content,
Regardless
right?
of the return, the content here is going to be crazy.
Actually, I remember I actually did a reaction to that. Like,
Oh, did you?
yeah, I seen you had posted on Instagram. It was a while back, a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was a couple
You
years
was
ago.
in the process of doing it,
Yeah.
and I had did a reaction video too. You probably
Oh,
didn't see it.
that's
I think.
What'd you say about it?
He's
I
like,
was
this
just-
deal's trash.
I actually was just confirming, saying, "Hey, look, like
Yeah.
self-storage is the way." We have,
Yeah.
influencers crazy like
Okay.
Ryan Pineda that's
Yeah.
getting into it as well. So that was kind of the angle that I took.
I still want one. I think,
This is
I'm
kinda
like
weird.
pretty much anti-rental
saying.
most things
Yeah.
because they just don't make money.
Yeah.
And I just keep telling people over and
I
over
just
again, like,
realized-
I want passive income. I want cash flow. I'm like, it ain't happening for your
Yeah.
rental.
No.
I don't care what anyone tells you. I think now that I've just been in it longer, I think Robert Kiyosaki has tricked so many people,
Oh.
like more than I've ever thought in my life.
Oh.
Like, and I don't think he tricked people back when he wrote the book,
Yeah.
but somehow the lie has perpetuated.
Now we got Michael Zuber.
I think
Why
that's
do you bring him
what
up in the
time-
podcast?
Obviously, I feel like when people do make things like that, like over time it changes, So, yeah.
He's the guy.
He's your enemy.
Yeah.
He's your frenemy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, dude, it don't work. And I don't see it ever changing going forward.
Mhm.
I think we've reached a point of no return.
Yeah.
Where prices are what they are in real estate. They ain't going down. Rates are stabilized. They are what they are. We're not going to see 2% rates again. And
Right.
even if we did, prices are going to go up tremendously if they ever did drop. So either way,
2% rates.
it costs what it costs for a freaking single family home at this point.
And rents aren't catching up.
And rents are and Cardone, dude, as much as people hate on Cardone, we've had him on multiple times. He's been right almost every single time.
Yeah.
His A-class stuff survived all the crap of everything else in multifamily. He's been saying we're going to turn into a renter nation. He's been saying that owning single family for rental sucks. And now, like, everybody's like, yeah, kind of owning single family for rentals kind of sucks. It's like,
This is Pocket. I never go anywhere without it. At the tap of a button, it records and creates organized.
Yeah.
So self-storage.
So here's what I'm saying. Self-storage is the one thing where I've looked at as like a normal real estate thing that's not very complicated or complex. Because, dude, like senior living and assisted living is like, bro, you got to take care of old people 24/7.
Someone could die.
Yeah, like you need doctors,
Someone will die.
nurses. You know, Airbnb, you're running a freaking hotel every night.
I hate Airbnb.
You know, dealing with the tenants and complaints and cleanings, and you're running an actual hotel.
Yeah.
But storage, I've literally lived storage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing to do.
It's pretty much a garage that you rent.
You rent your garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to add to it because self-storage is a business first and foremost.
It is a business.
With real estate attached to it. So it's really the best of both worlds. So
yeah.
Yes, you can like set it and forget it, have a customer rent out a unit. But if you're really operating this where it comes to, all right, let's look at our occupancy. Where can we raise rents? You know, how can we partner with U-Haul? How do I make use of this additional square footage and put a mailbox store, which is the same customer profile, right? Mailboxes, physical, mailboxes, a similar self-storage, moving services. So you're still running a business.
Yeah.
But for me, I like the affiliate part of it because I'm not actually fulfilling on the moving services, right? I'm not fulfilling on the U-Haul transportation. Is more of we have these services and now we operate it.
But can people actually do this in big markets? Because like Las Vegas, you're not buying anything for $850,000. You might buy one unit for $850,000.
You might buy a garage.
Nah. In big markets, you're gonna compete with the big boys, the REITs. So that's why I target more hour out. So I'm not sure the landscape of Vegas, but whatever is
going to Mesquite.
We gotta go Pahrump.
We're going to Pahrump and Mesquite.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far is that from here?
Like
an hour and a half.
Yeah. So that's what we will look at because these markets here,
Barstow.
Yeah. Extra space, public storage, they dominate.
Oh, really?
It's tough to really get in these.
Yeah. When I drive around Vegas, they're all the big companies.
Yeah, they're huge. How do you find these sellers' information?
Different ways. Skip trace online.
Is there like a specific service
What's
like
up?
PropStream or something like that?
I use PropStream. I use Batch Skip as well.
Oh, they have the same data?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Reonomy is another platform that I use. So Reonomy is a platform where you can pull all self-storage owners and their information that sometimes it'll go to the front office.
Called Reonomy?
Reonomy.
I've heard of it. It's for commercial, right?
Yep, it's for commercial.
I thought he was saying Rihanna. I was like, Rihanna finds self-storage. Hey, she's diversified.
we got to get Rihanna. We got to get her storage.
She's a billionaire now.
Time for her to invest that money. Yeah. But yeah, we use Reonomy, different platforms like that, and we skip trace. But we also still just drive around. And if there's a facility that you see where the grass is high, it's not cut, right? The sign is
you got like bird dogs doing that or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So like, what's your goal? Is your goal to acquire a facility every year, a couple facilities? What's the plan?
The goal.
Hey, if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, then you need to use our Cashflow 2.0 system. We give you all the motivated seller leads. We give you software, one-on-one coaching, and everything you need to start your real estate investing business. And we've seen so much success from our students with this system that we are willing to guarantee it. So if you want to learn how it all works and how you can get your first real estate deal today, go on over to wealthyinvestor.com and apply. Someone from our team will get with you, and you could have your first deal within a week once you get on this system. So head on over to wealthyinvestor.com and we'll see you there.
Is the acquire facility once a quarter. So about
once a quarter.
Once a quarter. So about 4 per year. Stack them up and then
try and sell them.
You exit, yeah.
What's your target like price point that you're going for?
800,000 and maybe 3 million, anywhere from that range.
What's like the biggest one you bought so far?
The biggest one I bought was the 850,000 one that I purchased. I've been buying, smaller ones and I build them up.
Yeah.
And then the goal is to be able to, like I said, keep scaling up. But right now, the small market, that's really my niche.
At what point does it start becoming like now you're competing with the big boys and it's like a tough deal to make sense? Like what price point?
When you at like 6 million and up 7 million, that's when you're all right. Now you with the big boys.
The other stuff's too small for them. They don't care.
6 million.
Yeah, they're not.
Louise.
Under 5 million. Is a wide open lane.
So are you gonna just package them all up and then sell them in a couple of years?
That's the goal.
Got it.
Just package them up, put my systems in place, operate them, and then exit to a REIT that has the money. And
how many units or how much real estate do you need for it to be worthwhile to them?
I would say about 10 million plus. I have to make sense.
That's
At
not a ton to like
No.
exit to that.
because
I'm saying these prices are so low. I don't know if you know, but like 850K is like our average house.
in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah,
Per
and in
average
SoCal.
house.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Brian's houses in the hood in California. That
Yeah.
But you can invest in. You don't have to invest in Vegas. You can invest, buy a facility in Pennsylvania and
Power their play with Iams High Protein.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix, you can grab yours now and then
Illinois.
Bro,
It doesn't
I
have
have
to
a
be in your
6-car
backyard.
garage in my house. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like,
Yeah,
what?
you could. How much can
know?
he get for his?
Yeah, I
garage?
mean, can I rent that out for like $2,000 a month? Like, so
garage.
with that, you also said you put a mailbox business in one of. How's the mailbox business make money?
So the mailbox business is
What?
twofold, right? One,
Mailbox?
helps lower our expenses for the
What does that
self-storage
even mean?
because now we have additional revenue that comes in.
It's paying rent.
Exactly. So now it adds to the bottom line for the self-storage that we can exit from. This mailbox store in particular, we just opened it up. We did our grand opening in January.
Mhm.
So we're still working out, getting more customers, visibility because it's a new business.
Mhm.
So it is not bringing in the money like right away. So we're
Yeah.
kind of building that momentum right now.
What's its potential?
The potential, we're looking at about 11 to 13 grand a month.
Damn.
How many mailboxes are in there?
We have 130 mailboxes,
Wow.
And then, so like, what would they pay per month if they were all filled?
anywhere from $9 to $15 a month.
So that's okay. So $10 times 100, that's $1,000 a month. So where's the rest of the money come from?
So we have physical mailboxes, virtual mailboxes,
Got it.
packing, shipping. Really, a lot of the packing and shipping is where a lot of the revenue come from. So when you think about FedEx,
Yeah.
UPS,
It's expensive.
USPS,
Yeah.
You
instead
go
of
there to print something sometimes. Sometimes I go there to print loan docs and it's hella expensive.
Why are you still printing loan docs?
It's just randomly, like if they're like, hey, we need this right now.
yeah,
You
notary
don't have an
services.
assistant?
No.
Tight.
Yeah. It's expensive. I'm like, this is a ripoff. Like one page will be like $25. I'm like, this is
But why?
Wait.
Even though you
Why
know it's a
can't you just
rip-off.
print it? You have a printer.
because it'll just be random. It's like if I'm out and they're like, hey, we need this grand deed right now. I'll go to because I have to get it notarized and I got to mail it. So I might as well print it, notarize it, and mail it all at once. It'll be like $200.
Bro.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're opening the title company. You don't need to do that no more.
Yeah, no.
Your title company's making you do that, bro.
Yeah. We got to go to
Yeah.
Pineda Title.
Kingdom title. That's
Kingdom
what it's
title.
called. So okay, so it's really not even coming from the mailboxes then. It's coming from everything else.
Is the additional revenue streams from the foot traffic that'll come in.
That makes sense.
Got it. And then those people probably be like, oh, the storage facility is pretty nice. I kind of might need a unit.
Yeah, there we go. And really selling to the self-storage renters already. So that's our first basis. We're targeting the customers who already rent our storage units and say, hey, look, we can offer additional services and things like that.
All right. So I used to do this back in the day too. I got a lot of experience with storage units. So I've been to a few storage auctions.
Yeah.
Have you done any storage wars type stuff yet?
I haven't done any storage wars like myself. So that stuff,
Bro, I
is,
love it.
So tell me your
Can you
experience.
just keep the stuff? If someone stops paying, can you go
it
there
has to
and
go to
keep
auction.
it?
Yeah,
Because
legally.
it goes to them.
Yeah.
It's like a foreclosure. You know, somebody gets foreclosed on. You know, the money, the excess proceeds go to the person.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, just for everyone listening, like when someone gets foreclosed on, if they do have equity, like it goes to auction, and any equity that is between what they owe and what they got, they get that money. It's called excess proceeds.
After fees.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy too? There's so much in excess proceeds that are just sitting there because people don't know.
That's dumb.
So there's like people who have businesses that just target excess proceeds, but
I would have never
with the
known
storage
that.
units, it's the same idea. It's like this person has all this
that's
crap.
actually
They're going to go
very
auction it off,
interesting.
minus fees that he's owed and everything else. They get the rest.
Yeah.
Have you ever found anything cool in any of the storage units?
Not any of my. I've heard stories, but I haven't
All right.
found like anything like super exciting, like a bunch of money or anything.
You
Yeah.
found a
like that.
Patek.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I've heard a bunch of stories, but we do them online now. We do the auctions online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we do them online.
How
now. Instead
often do you guys got one? I want to look at it.
Oh man, I would say we probably about 2 or 3 auctions a month. Really.
How much
You
do
know?
they usually go for?
It varies, you know.
But you could see what's inside of there.
No, you can only see the front,
yeah. So
They open it.
bro.
yeah, whatever's you.
We
you
should do
open it
that
up,
as a side
whatever
hustle.
you see.
No, I did it as a real life hustle.
Really?
Yeah, bro. So I would show up because I was like, I used to flip couches and buy everything anyway. So then I would notice at the storage unit, they'd be having the auctions randomly. And I was like, dude, so like, how do I get on the list and figure out when these are going on? So anyways, then I started getting into it. And you show up at auction time and they open it up. There's like a legit process and it's quick, dude. Cause they're like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And they open it up. Everybody like bum rushes. You cannot
Wait,
go in the
what?
unit.
We're one of the only social media
Oh, I
agencies that
see.
guarantees 1 million views or you don't even pay. But honestly, that is just kind of what we say for marketing. If you give me 15
You just can only be on the outside. And everybody's like looking around, like trying to see what's behind all the crap. And then like the best would be when, you know, there's only boxes in the front, so you can't see behind. There could be a Porsche sitting behind the boxes. You don't know. And like everyone just bids blind. You don't know what's going on. So it's like really fun because it's like a lottery.
Did you ever buy one?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Was there anything good?
Nope. It was the biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
Because, dude, like people value different things in that world. They're like, oh, dude, those boxes are really well. I was listening to them. They're like, dude, look how nice that taping is. They got to be good stuff in there. And so then, like, it would immediately sell, and they would get it right then and there. And I'd be like, so what was like? I want to know what was in there, whether they got a good haul or not.
It's like Christmas,
bro. It's so fun.
It's a real business. Like people actually go and buy the units and whatever's in there, they
They
go
resell it.
and resell it and make the profit. So
Yeah, like my guy back then, he was like, bro, this one going up for auction's sick. And I'd be like, okay. Dude, I've done every hustle you could imagine. So what about the other mailbox business? Is it is it in storage too?
no, this one is a stand. That's how I got the idea actually.
Okay.
Like, so I don't just buy self storage. I diversify. But the other mailbox business is a standalone business that we purchased that was already existing. So the owner owned it for 22 years. Was already making about a little over $10,000 a month, and we was able to creatively finance it $5,000 down.
So he was net in 10 or gross was 10?
Gross was 10.
Okay.
Gross was 10.
You financed, was the real estate included or it was just the business?
Just the business.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, just the business. Purchase price was $55,000 for the business.
Okay.
$5,000 down.
Yep.
That was it. And then we did seller finances.
What was his motivation?
Just ready to retire.
Okay.
So that's what we target, baby boomers, right? So, a lot of baby boomers that's retiring, they've been in the business 20, 30 years, they're ready to exit. So it's not that the business is not profitable, making money, they just ready to get out of it.
So this dude, what was your monthly?
The monthly revenue?
No, like what was your monthly payment to him?
Well, we did 0% interest. So we had no payment for the first year.
Okay. Then after that, like how long was the term to pay him back his 50K or whatever?
We did a 3-year term.
Okay, got it.
First year, nothing. We just give you the $5,000 down because he really wanted to get out of it.
Yep.
And then paid him off the following year.
Yeah, you were paying him $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. They got paid off.
Yeah.
I actually did that one of my early days in my YouTube video. I did that apartment that I got for 10 units. That was a seller finance deal, and I got 3 years of no payments.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was fun. But
you gotta find the motivation. That's the biggest thing. You gotta find the motivation.
Yeah. So with the mailboxes, like, are you actively looking for those? Or are you actively trying to just put them in your storage units and compound them together?
So, yeah. Right now, I'm actively just looking to put them inside of storage facilities.
Yeah, you're not trying to go get other. Facility.
Yeah. So it has to make sense. So every facility that I'm looking at, I'm just okay. What's the square footage? Do we have an office space? Is there opportunity? If it's not opportunity, put a mailbox. It's not the end of the world. We're still going to buy the storage.
Right.
But that's a way that we are maxing because we have the blueprint, we have the SOPs and the processes. And again, I love it because it's the same customer profile. So it's small business owners, individuals that's paying every single month. It's reoccurring, simple business. Nobody's hanging out, having fun. It's just in and out, very consistent.
So for you anyways, I was thinking about back when I was like a storage unit user, I was running my business out of there. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, you're not supposed to.
It's not a place of commerce, but I had a nice storefront. So does anyone like run a business out of there or anything?
You're not supposed to, right? But as far as my management is like, hey, if the money,
If you're paying your bills, you're not causing
if
a
the money's
disturbance.
clear, we don't have no issues. We're all good. We're all good.
Yeah. I remember guys too would so I did pallet flipping too. And you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like people would do returns to like, you know, Walmart and Amazon and you know these different places, and so they just sell their returns in pallets of crap, and so you can go and bid on them at like liquidation.com. Yeah, so I would bid on.
Yeah, you had a
I know this guy does everything. Yeah.
Dude, how do you think you end up with a golf cart?
Yeah.
You just try crap and some works. So I would buy off liquidation.com and just buy, you know, random pallets of crap. And like I remember there were some people in the storage unit game, they would store all their pallets and stuff. But dude, the reason I didn't like that was because dude, I would get like 100 items of like small little $10 things. And it takes the same amount of effort to post a $10 item than it does a $1,000 item. So it was like a lot of work. Yeah.
So what other businesses are you trying to get into?
My goal is to get into the verticals, right? So right now we're looking into pest control. I know you said somebody just for pest control.
Stay Friday, you'll meet the goat.
But we have a subscription with a pest control company because they have to treat the storage facilities. They are outdoor units, so sometimes you do have issues with rodents, things like that. But that's a business that I have my eye on. Landscaping companies, because any business that supports the self-storage industry is really what I'm looking at. So yeah, landscaping, pest control, moving companies as well. That's what I'm looking for.
So do the tenants have to pay for the pest control or the owner of the facility?
Owner of the facility.
Got it.
So we have a contract with the pest control company to service all of the facilities.
That's interesting.
Does the state of the economy like affect your business at all?
Absolutely.
Like how's like the current economy looking for self-storage?
It's similar to anything. When we think about like real estate or any type of business, when the economy is bad or people don't have enough income, we have more defaults.
Yeah.
Right? So because if I can barely pay my light this month, me paying my storage unit bill is going to be the last thing I'm worried about. Right?
Yeah.
So you do see an influx of delinquencies. You will also see a decrease in occupancy. However, for me, it's about pick your battles, because you're going to have that battle in any business. The reason why I like self-storage is because we still do the auctions, right? So we're still able to retain some type of money when there's available to do so. And, it's a cheaper price point as well versus, you're talking about an apartment. And it depends, right? Because we're in Vegas. But in my markets, $100 a unit, $80 a unit, $125 a unit, we see more retention because it's lower price point versus
$300 unit. How much is your unit,
I think it's like $300, $400.
So you've been paying for 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it. Dude, my mom has had a self-storage my whole life. She's full of crap, bro, because she's a hoarder. So like sometimes I'll check her bank statements and I'm like, why are you paying for a freaking storage when your garage is full? And it's like, what the hell is in this storage? So yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know what? You could have did my solution. I bought my parents a half-acre house, which was more costly. Now there's stuff
instead of $100 a month. It's
now it's $4,000 a month. I just got dual purpose.
But are you? So is the current economy, I guess, like showing signs of slowness?
It is.
Yeah.
So it's a slower process for lease up. So typically, let's say even we're talking about building, right?
Yeah.
You build a facility, and typically you can lease up in 18 months.
Yeah.
That may take you 24 months now. It might take you 36 months. It's going to take you longer to lease up because of the economy. It's not as fast. You'll still get there, but it's going to take some time. Same thing if you just buy a mismanaged facility and it's at 30% occupancy, it's just taking us longer to get that lease up. And we have to be more creative with our lead strategies, right? So we may do, I used to do the dollar moving special. I don't do it anymore because you get people.
Get the wrong people.
Yeah, you get the wrong people. But now what we do is 3 months, half off.
Yeah.
So just having some creative strategies to get people in the door.
Yeah.
That's just really where we at in the economy now. It's not kind of a set and forget how it was 5 years ago, right? During COVID, where you had top of the market, high price, and it's getting leased up like quickly. You know, we have to just be more skillful at this point.
What do you think the economy is going to look like if this war continues in Iran? I want to ask both of you guys that.
I don't know when this is going to come out, but today they announced, or whatever, yesterday they announced there's a ceasefire.
Yeah.
So we'll see, like.
Yeah, but it's a ceasefire where Israel is still like bombing.
I don't know.
Yeah. But do you think that's going to help the economy or is it going to make it worse?
Are you LLC curious? Wondering, is it time to make my business official? With Busy, forming your LLC is simple.
It's tough. At least like just immediate is we already seeing an impact, right? Just inflation, even like with metal, you know, so everything is costing much more. And a lot of people like holding tight to their money right now too.
Yeah.
So
a lot of fear.
Immediately we seeing an impact when it comes to at least storage in particular. Just like we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's like they've been talking about with different guys who had on where they say it's a K-shape economy where it's like people are doing good or doing really good and then everyone else is doing really bad. There is no middle ground.
Yeah.
And so I think like, yeah, it just depends who the avatar is. It's like rich people are still doing great. You know, like I think like back to at M19 with the golf mastermind, it's only rich people. They're buying M19 like hotcakes. But then, you know, it's like if we're trying to sell something cheap to just a normal everyday person, it's like, man, they're worried about gas. They all need gas, right? And it's like they got to have it, but man, it's a struggle. So I think it just depends on the person.
The rich is only getting richer.
But I'm also the belief that even if this Iran thing gets, you know, resolved here quickly, we're going to be in another thing here. I think it's just we're going to keep being in things.
Because of Trump or just because? Oh, yeah.
Well, I think all of it. I think, you know, Ray Dalio just actually released a thing I was reading. And he said, he's like, yeah, we're in like a world war right now. And he goes, it's just, you know, they're talking about ending quickly. It's not. Like everything in the world is too interconnected at this point. It just looks different than the world wars of the past. He's like, today it's more economical in how we fight. And it's true.
Yeah.
We talk about fighting China every day. Economically, you know, we're trying to beat them in AI. We are trying to tariff them to death. We're trying to like weaken them. Economic. We're not going to fight them. Like with missiles, maybe not yet. But we're for sure fighting for a long time economically.
And if you look at like Iran, so we bombed the crap out of Iran, but they closed the strait. And freaking Trump's like freaking out. Like his tweets make him look like he is worried. So that was a little scary. Like they might not hit us with a drone, but if our gas prices go up like 2 to 3x, people are going to start freaking out.
TikTok.
You don't make $10,000 a month. You're lazy.
If you
and
want
yourself.
Wait, what? Hold on. Let me back up.
Obviously, like is a better like once you're going, you're going. But like anybody could make 10 grand this month just doing what I was talking about at these storage units and flipping couches.
I think I have a better way.
So what's your way?
Watch this. If you want to make 10K a month, easy, start gambling. Like whatever you're good at. Let's just say you're good at basketball. Go to the park and just bet people.
Oh, go hustle people.
Yeah, and just go hustle because then you don't even need.
You're a pool shark.
Yeah, because then you don't even need the money. So if you lose, you just keep playing until you break even. But if you win, you tell them you got to go and you get paid.
Dude, I like it.
No upfront costs at all.
No upfront
It's
costs.
just
No
skill-based.
inventory. It's just skill based. Yeah, and you could pick your skill. You're good at golf, go golf. You're good at basketball. You know,
dude, I did a podcast with M19 guy. His name's Bill, and he said that's what he did. So he goes,
Really?
yeah. So it is. He was like 19 years old, and you know, stud golfer, and this gambler took him under his wing, and basically, I forgot what he called him, but like he was like his guy, and this guy was like his pimp, you know?
Yeah.
And like they would go on the course, and like it was like a duel. So there'd be this gambler and his guy versus this gambler and him.
Oh wow.
And they would bet every single hole, and they would see what they were betting. So they'd be like, okay, $2,000 this hole. And then every hole it gets paid out.
Wow.
All right, 2,000 this hole.
Yeah.
It gets paid out every single hole, and the money cash changes hands every hole. Because you know when we bet, we're like, okay, after 18, what was it? He's like, no, you pay now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, dude. And I've seen it at Southern Highlands actually.
Oh, I bet.
Because we have a ton of like the big boy poker players that are gambling millions. These dudes will be gambling like 20 grand a hole.
Holy
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, why is this group taking so long? And the caddy would be like, well, you know, that's this guy, you know, there's Phil Ivey. And I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. They can play as slow as they want. Like, if I'm putting for $50,000.
Yeah, that would be intense.
Yeah, dude, there ain't no gimmies.
But that's what I would do. I would gamble or do sales.
You giving them ideas. They'll be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what he would do, though, is like at the end of 18, whatever the purse was, like if they won, he would get a cut.
Oh, okay.
So the gambler would front the money, and then whatever they won, they won. And if he lost, he didn't have risk of losing. Like, he'd be like, bro, well, neither of us made any money today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my whole thing is like, I think with AI, sales, creativity, and focus, if you have those three, you can make 10K easy, in my opinion. I think if you don't make $10,000 a month, you're just lazy.
Hold on, listen
in
to
my
this.
personal, if you have those three,
neither of us made any money today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my whole thing is like, I think with AI, sales, creativity, and focus, if you have those three, you can make 10K easy, in my opinion. I think if you don't make $10,000 a month, you're just lazy. In my personal opinion, if you want to make $10,000, if you're okay, if you're doing something you love and you make less than 10 grand a month, God bless you. That's great. But if you're someone that needs to make $10,000 a month to provide, then sales, creativity, and focus. That's it. I think it's easy. And I think if you don't make $10,000 a month, you're lazy.
If you
and
want
you're
to.
selfish. Yeah. Because you're probably only thinking about yourself. I thought about.
So when this guy is saying, he's saying that because I think this guy is actually making more than $10,000.
That the other day, because some people were like, you know what? They were talking about making less than 10 grand. I'm like, you could only make less than 10 grand if you are forcing your wife to work, or you're just not you're not willing to provide for her and other people.
Yeah.
Because forget taking care of your parents. You can't do that.
No way.
Yeah, not with less than 10 grand after taxes and all that stuff. But yeah, I thought about that.
I've always said that. You know, like whenever people think about their financial freedom number and then they're like, once I hit this number, I'm done. I'm like, you realize how selfish you are, right? I was actually, I had Kong on the podcast and I was like, I was calling him out for it and making him think. And he's like, yeah, I'm good, dude. I don't need to do that. I go, don't you think that's kind of selfish that you could be doing way more and you choose not to because you're good?
Yeah.
And then we got into this whole like deep theology. He's like, well, I think I'm a good person. And I go, but you could do more and you just choose not to because you're good.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes you think because we really only think from.
That's really interesting.
Like it's, I forget what they call it. Is it called like
So if you don't
Mallow's
make $10,000
law of hierarchy or something where basically
hierarchy of needs,
something like that. But like the first one is like, hey, I got to provide for myself.
Yeah.
It's like everybody has to do that for sure,
I think it's
right?
needs.
Then it's like, okay, once I'm provided for, let's provide for, my family and my parents and everything else. And then after that, it's like, okay, like now let's like do something good for society and everyone else. And it's like, yeah, you do have to progress. But to your point, most people are just so stuck in themselves.
Yeah.
That it's like, yeah, if you just can't give at a high level and help people at a high level without money.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. And how do you provide? If you have a wife and kids, it sucks, but how selfish are you to send your wife to work for 40 hours a week and your kids go to daycare and they don't grow up with their parents just because you're so damn lazy that you won't figure out how to make 10K a month.
Damn.
That's the sad part.
Malcolm, keep playing, see what happens.
For an able-bodied man, if you're an able-bodied smart man and you make less than $10,000, you're lazy. Period.
I don't. Okay, so here's where I'll push back because there are some able-bodied men making less than 10,000 watching this who are offended. By
I know. I'm trying to. So I'm giving it to them so they learn.
Well, here's what I'll say. I would say there's a difference between being lazy and being ignorant. So I'll agree. They're one or the other. They're ignorant or lazy.
Yeah.
People
but
think
ignorance is not an answer anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, but dude, when you're not around high level people and you're, you know, your boy over here makes $6,000 a month and you're making 7,000, you think you're the man. And then you got Brian DeVilla on the show over here, like, you're a bum.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But he's the man.
But now they're being educated.
Yeah, but he's the man in his circle.
Yeah.
Right? So I would just call that more so ignorance. You just don't know what you're capable of. It's ignorance.
Yeah. But I'm saying
it's
for
not,
the people
it's
that
not
want
stupidity. It's just you don't know what you don't.
I'm saying for the people that want to. If they want to make 10 grand, then they know it's possible. If they're not currently doing it, it's because they're lazy. They're lazy or they're, I can't say the B word, but they're just being soft.
Yeah.
They're too afraid to quit doing what they're doing because
or take a risk.
Yeah,
they're fearful to take a risk.
Yeah, they're too afraid to take a risk.
Yeah.
Even if they make $50K a year at their job for the last 10 years and they're like, I want to make $100K. And you're like, well, how are you going to do it? You've been at the same job for 50K, you know? And I put pressure on myself now because I've made 7 figures, but I've never made $2 million.
Yeah.
So I'm lazy.
I think if you can't make $2 million, you don't get to have sex.
I'd figure out how to make $2 million.
You know who called you a loser on the podcast?
Who?
Grant Cardone.
I know he did.
He called you a little loser who thinks small.
This is wild.
He did.
He did.
So you said you didn't make $2 million yet, but you're lazy, right?
Yeah.
So what's causing you to be lazy that you're not going?
Complacency.
Ignorance.
No, it's complacency.
Yeah, but they have complacency too. They think they're good, making $6K a month, whatever.
So
right?
I gotta figure out how to. So I was thinking about this the other day too, right? So when I first became a realtor, I remember there was a quarter. I thought about that this morning when I woke up. There was a quarter. Let's say my goal was 20 homes.
Mm-hmm.
I only sold 18, right? I was pissed. Like I was like devastated.
Mm-hmm.
I went for a drive and I was in my car. I was like, you're so dumb. Like you said you were going to do this and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like I was so hard on myself, but I lost that. I don't have that like Mamba mentality. Yeah. Like, you know how like Kobe Bryant was like, bro, like we won a game. Like, so what? Like job's not finished. Like I lost that. I don't know how to get that back.
You got domesticated.
Yeah. I got just complacent.
Yeah.
Do you have a wife or kids?
I do.
Okay.
I have a wife and 3 sons. So I do agree, right? Is a few things, right? You can't do what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So most people, I think a lot of people are not.
That was a good line.
A lot of people are not even aware of the ways that you could actually make money.
Yep.
But I do believe once you are aware and you're watching a podcast, you sign up for a program or a course, and you now have a proven blueprint, and then you don't go and follow through, now you're lazy. Now
It's a sin.
Yeah. Now it's
That's a
like
sin.
I can't say nothing
That's a
to you
big
because
fact.
you know exactly what the roadmap is, and you're choosing not to do it.
Yeah.
And you're choosing to stay comfortable.
What about what's the Bible verse that says like if you don't take care of your family, then you're worse than a non-believer?
Yeah.
What is it? How does it go?
Pretty much like that. I don't know the exact verse T to T, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah. I think it's like in Timothy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I read that in the Bible, I was like, damn.
Well, because
I got some work to do.
Yeah. I got some work to do.
The
Yeah.
context of that verse, though, was that, you know, the church was taking care of all of these widows and orphans and different people and, you know, people who needed help. And basically, he's like, look, there's plenty of able-bodied people here right now who aren't working. And we have to take care of these people. These people are like, you're worse. You could do this, and we are taking care of you.
Facts.
Exactly.
And like, you know, we see that in society all the time.
Yeah.
Right? There's plenty of people on welfare and all these things that are like, bro, work.
Yeah.
The internet's free.
Facts.
There's a million
worse,
ways.
What's
Big
worse than
facts.
people on welfare are young men that are going out balling, buying cars and chains and all this crap while their mom still works full time.
Yeah.
That's worse.
Yeah,
That's absolutely worse. If you are
you're
not
not
taking
even
care of your
lying.
mom, your dad, I don't know. You know, I didn't grow up with a father, so I don't have that, you know, conscious for it. But like, if you're an able-bodied man and your mom is out here working 40 hours a week because she has to, because you won't step up and support her, then you got to, you know, think about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
get
you're
into
not even lying about
self-storage
that.
or sales or wholesaling, or you got to do something. But not knowing, if they're listening to this podcast, there is no excuse of not knowing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, now with you got Chat GPT, you got this, you got that. It's just at the fingertips, you could get exposure. I think it's more so the execution. But I want to ask both of you this because I feel like I was at the barbershop probably a couple months ago, right?
Hell yeah.
And I usually don't go to this barbershop, right? I usually go to a different barbershop that's close to my day, but I was traveling. And when I went to the barbershop, one of the guys, he was a barber, he said, "Oh, you the mogul lifestyle dude, like on Instagram." Yeah. He says, "Is that stuff real? Like, really, is that stuff?" So for me, it really showed me a lot of people that are watching, they don't even think that this is real. They don't think that.
I understand that part because I most of it is not real. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why I always ask people how much money they make. On this podcast, I always ask them like, how much money do you make? And sometimes the answer is zero, but they sell coaching, and that's okay. But at least people should know that.
Well, maybe it's okay.
But at least they say it. Sometimes they don't say it, and I'm like, oh, like I know what it is. I know what's happening.
Do you know what's funny? I was, my barber comes to my house now, and so I haven't been to the barber shop in a long time. But I remember when I would go to the barber shop, like it was like my once a week or every 2 week experience around like
real
normal people.
Yeah.
And I would listen to the things they're talking about. I'm like, what is?
Oh yeah.
Am I in a alternate reality right now about like what these guys are talking about?
Yeah.
And it was just like kind of shocking to me because like, when you surround yourself with high level people all the time and like, I'm not leaving this office. Like I'm not out at the bars doing stupid crap where, whatever, right? Like I just am not really in environments where that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I'd just sit there for an hour because I have to sit there for an hour and just get a haircut. And I'm just like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah. This is a true story. A month ago, I went to go get my beard lined up, right? Because everyone's going to say, he doesn't go to the barbershop, he's bald. But but I go maybe once every quarter to just get my beard lined up. One of my high school best friends walked in and was selling shampoo. I don't know if you're going to know this, Ryan, but like at black barbershops,
okay,
people come in selling crap.
Yes.
Like dogs.
Well, I
laptops. I bought a dog from a barbershop before. You don't know this, but
well, at the Mexican barbershop I go to.
Do they do that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. No. So anyways, this guy walks in, he's like, I got shampoo, this, blah, 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 blah. And I turn around, I'm like, bro, I used to hang out with him. Like he was a good friend of mine in high school. And I just turned back around and looked away because I'm like, he's going to ask me for money. But I don't know what the point of that story was.
Did you walk out with a Labradoodle?
No, I bought a pit bull from a barbershop one time. I'm not going to lie. Like a red-nosed pit bull with papers.
With
what
papers?
Yeah,
I'm sure they were legit.
Yeah, it was a legit dog.
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know where that story came from, but yeah. Oh, I guess exposure.
Yeah. That's why I was ultimately asking, like, how do you convey it to where?
Oh yeah, that was my question. Yeah,
that is like this is a real thing. But I get what you say. It's like,
I wonder how you could like now that I'm thinking about it because I just haven't thought about it from that perspective in a long time. Of like, how do you convey that this is legit and authentic? Because it's like, you can see the words or you can see the flashy stuff, or whatever, right? Like so, like you see that, but then it's like, how do you get somebody who just is so skeptical to believe?
Yes.
But I think so for me, right? When I first started real estate, this actually happened at a barbershop. So I actually used to own a barbershop.
Oh.
So my best friend door knocked a barbershop owner. He didn't have the money. I put up the money and I bought it, right? Long story short, this barbershop just started failing, like bad. Like literally all the barbers left. I was sitting in there one day and I was just pissed because I was like, damn, I just lost like 20 grand. Like, freak. Guy walks in, nice Nixon watch. He was driving like a Mazda. I was like, this guy's balling, right? He was in there at like 1 o'clock. So I'm like,
he's driving a Mazda?
Yeah. I was like, man, this guy's doing really well, right? So he was like, yeah, dude, I'm in real estate. And I was like, how much do people in real estate make? He's like, 60,000 a year. I was like, damn, that's pretty good money. Like 10 years ago, I was like, that's a lot of money. So he told me to go to the school. I got the license. During school, my teacher, his name was, I forgot it, Teddy, at Key Realty. He was like, yeah, I made $100,000 my first year. I was like, $100,000? Like I was at $60,000. And I'm like, 100.
This summer, I'm skipping phony sales and shopping styles that real customers love at Bob's Discount Furniture, where I can find quality pieces with thousands of 5-star reviews. So save big with Bob's, where America shops for furniture.
I hate
$100,000? Like, there's no way. And then I found and then I graduated, and then I found Craig Tan. And then Craig Tan told me, he was like, yeah, dude, I don't want to say his number, but it was high. It was very high. And he had X amount of rentals paid off.
You've been asking people how much they make?
Yeah, 10 years straight, yeah.
You're a professional.
Yeah, I'm a professional at it. But Craig Tan sold 300 homes a year. He had a ton of rental properties paid off. So then I came to the conclusion in one of our first conversations, I was like, oh, so you get paid every day. Because if you sell 300 homes a year, let's say he only had 10 to 20 rentals.
Yeah.
Like, you get paid every single day. And he's like, yeah. And that was the first time I was like, oh, shoot, like there's no cap on income. But it took me speaking to someone in person that wasn't trying to sell me something. Okay. Right. Because if they were trying to sell me something, I would have been like, I don't know. Like, you probably have that Lambo from selling dumb people like me your course. But yeah. Well, so that's good. It has to be from someone that is not trying to sell you something. That's how you could give people the knowledge. Because once you're trying to sell them something, the dynamic changes.
I don't know.
If they're skeptical.
So I was always skeptical too. Like, I never wanted to pay for coaching or any of these things. Even though it didn't really make sense because I grew up playing pro sports and paying for coaching. Like, so I don't know why when I got into the business space, I was like, oh, guru. I don't want to like pay for that, right? I just, was skeptical. But I will say, eventually, obviously I did and it worked out. But it wasn't until I actually went to one of Cardone's things twice that it ended up like unlocking my mind. And it wasn't anything he said. It wasn't anything revolutionary. There was no skill of like, you learn this new marketing strategy or this new funnel. All I saw was like something massive. And I was just like, dang. So like I went to 10X Growth Con in 2018 and I'm just sitting there, my first ever business conference. And, there's like fire and like just all this stuff. And I'm like, this is not like they do this at a business. What's going on here? Yeah. And then they had all these guys speaking on stage and people I'd never heard of because I wasn't in the world. I was in sports world. And so like, Brunson, like all these guys have been on the pod now, all came on the stage, like Ed Milet and Ty Lopez and all these people. Everyone was the crowd's going
freaking
nuts.
Lopez.
Like fangirls.
Oh my God.
Like, who are these people? I've never heard of these people in my life. And they're all literally telling their same story, selling something, whatever, like how they were nobody and then how they did the come up and then how they've achieved this success. And I'll tell you, the one thing that I took away from it was I was like, literally not one of these people is extraordinary in any way. Literally, that was what my mind said. I was like, I just heard every single story. Not one of them has an insane IQ. Not one of them is physically talented. They're all midgets and just normal everyday people.
They're all midgets.
I'm like, they didn't go to school.
Say that word.
Like, that was what went through my mind. Because you got to remember, I came from the world as pro sports where they were extraordinary and you could not.
They're big and strong and freaking.
They were genetically built different and you could not compete with them. It's like LeBron's LeBron. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
There ain't nothing you can do. You can work as hard as you want your entire life. You will never be as good as LeBron and you will never even compete with him. True. You can't even be in the same vicinity. He will eat your lunch. And like in baseball, I saw that. I got drafted and it was like everyone was 6'4" and I'm 5'10". I was the smallest guy on my team. And I'm just like, oh, like I got to work 10 times harder to like keep up, And then I get into business and I'm like, no one here is anything special. And it's not a slight. It just is what it is. And it makes it great because anyone can do business. Anyone could buy a storage unit. Anybody could buy, become a realtor. Anybody could become a social media. There's literally no extraordinary talent needed. Versus sports or say Hollywood or being a doctor, those require very specific, you're born with it or you're not, right? So anyways, that was like the first thing that opened my mind of like, well, if this fool can go make this much money, it can't be that hard. And then the second time it happened was I went back to Cardone's. This was like 5 years later. So now it was funny because in that moment I go, one day I'm going to be on stage like those guys. And one day those guys will be peers of mine. I said that to myself in 2018, and it only took maybe 5 years, and it was there. And then I remember going to Cardone's office. This was in like 22 or 23. And I saw his office for the first time in person and got to know him better in person. And then I just remember seeing his sales floor. And, you know, it's like you hear about these guys doing big numbers, but I saw 100 people on a sales floor, pounding the phone, closing people. I was like, I've never seen that. I've literally never seen. And they're all dressed in suits. They're all hype. They're all closing, you know, all this stuff. And what Grant said, like, really hit me. He goes, hey, how many guys were impressed by that? And I was like, I was impressed. That was pretty good. I don't know about anyone else, but I was pretty impressed. And he goes, you know, to get those, whatever, 100 guys that are here, what you don't see is how many are no longer here. And he goes, there's way more that didn't make it. That, you know, what you only see is the people who've survived, you know? And now I understand from a sales point of view, there's a lot of churn in sales. And, but it made me realize, I was like, wow, that's what it looks like at a higher level.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to sell 9 figures a year. It takes that amount of volume. You got to find that amount of talent. You got to train them. You've got to build culture. And I was like, all right, I believe what's possible now. So I think to my point of this, seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
Do you have one of those moments?
We both said the same exact thing. So yeah, for me, it was a similar experience, right? It was a YouTube video actually. Me seeing YouTube, you can buy real estate, and I went out to an event. And when I went to that event, I'm seeing people that's up on the stage, right? And they're talking about how they just made $2 million, $3 million, telling their story, the same similar situation as Ryan. And I felt the same way. Like, I know I can do this, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what most people don't have is like that confidence when they are in the environment to believe that they can do the exact same thing as this person on the stage if I can match the same intensity and work ethic. So, you know, my very first experience was an in-person mastermind. In-person, it was a free event that I went to. It wasn't even a mastermind, it was a free event. And then I ended up investing and joining a mentorship. It changed everything for me. And then getting in other rooms, being in an environment where we say it all the time, like in my group of like business partners and things like that, we say no scoreboard watching, right? So if you made this amount of money today, that was today. What about tomorrow?
Yeah.
That was last month. Like, do not get complacent, because the minute that you get complacent and comfortable, you start losing it. So when you have people around you like that, where it's like, all right, what you did today, you can't play no games. You gotta keep going. So I think everything that we said is really being in an environment and seeing it up close and personal, and then also believing that you could possibly do it yourself.
What environments do you guys think you guys need to be in to reach your next level?
That's a good question.
Let me think about it.
Well, I'll tell you, I have my answer because I invented it. So
that was good.
Yeah, with M19, like I was telling this story the other day. Like at our last trip, we were at Pinehurst, and you know, one of the guys who joined, you know, I'm just looking through the roster. You know, we got 36 guys, and so I can see how much revenue their businesses do, their handicaps, everything, the industry, and what business they own and stuff. So I'm looking, I'm like, huh, who's this guy that's doing over 100 million a year? Like, let me look up his stuff. And then, you know, his business is Kinder's, the seasoning and the barbecue sauce. And I was like, I think that's a pretty big company. I don't cook, but like, I'm pretty sure it's pretty big. And so then I'm talking to him at the event, and he's one of the founders. There's a few. And I was like, dude, so how big's the business? What do you guys do? He's like, well, we're on pace for over $1 billion this year in sales.
Jeez.
I was like, that's pretty good. And I was like,
you're like, okay,
like $1 billion.
And not a billion pieces of seasoning, right?
Yeah, like we're not talking we're talking dollars. And then I was like, okay, so tell me, like, you know, how the story and how you got there. And he starts telling me like the 20-year story of what it took to get there, because they're worth over $1 billion, the company.
Damn.
And how the things they've had to do along the way, and raising money, and all the times they almost failed, and you know, all this stuff. And you know, it just got me thinking. I was like, wow, like I'm sitting here, you know, playing golf, talking to this guy for 4 hours about what it took to build $1 billion company. Like, where else is that going to happen? You know? And then I was like, so why'd you join M19? You know, like, what are you hoping to get out of this? Like, and you know, it was so funny. He goes, even before, he goes, yeah, like, I didn't really know what kind of value I could bring to the group, but I just wanted to come and have fun and play golf and meet other entrepreneurs. And I was like, you didn't know what kind of value you could bring. And he was serious. It wasn't like, you know, very humble guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know.
Not in the info space.
No one is.
Yeah.
I made a post about that the other day. That's the big post. And Cardone commented on it too. It's like, people think the info space and the educational space in this podcast world is like this way bigger world than it actually is.
No.
It is a tiny world.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. Once again, you're asking about rooms. I didn't realize that until I did M19 because, dude, we have over 300 members now. The average member does 10 million a year. Average. That means there's lots of guys who do 9 figures. That means there's guys who do 1 million, right? The average is 10. And 1 to 2% are in info. 98% are in normal, freaking boring, everyday bullcrap. They're electricians, they're contractors, they're insurance brokers, they're wealth managers, they're in healthcare. It's just normal everyday crap.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like thinking and reflecting on that, and I was like, man, why aren't more people like aware that these things make so much money? You know, why?
Well, I feel like they make so much money because they have the access, they have the knowledge, and they have the tool, and they have the people to guide them. So it's not just you listen to a podcast and it tells you to go make a company about storage. No, there's more to it.
Why does everyone think they got to be a guru
it's like
or
a mentor.
an
You need a
influencer or whatever? Because none
mentor.
of these guys are on social media like at a high level, right?
And most of these people
And,
that
you know,
actually
people would
are able to tap into that, that means that they have money. They're in the like rich high class, and they can fail. They're able to fail, and it won't hurt them financially. Why? Because people are able to help them out. That's why. So, yeah.
Always, you know, I've seen people talk about it online. They'll be like, oh, it's because, you know, people who make real money don't post about it and all this crap. And I'm like, no, it's deeper than that, because I talk to these people and they do want to be on social media. The difference is their business just doesn't require social media. Like, at the end of the day, the electrician doesn't need to be on social media. There's no point. Like, what is he going to go make content on how to go fix a light bulb? And if he does make content on, let's say, how to fix a light bulb, is he going to make any money from that? No. The only way he would make money is if he became a guru teaching other electricians.
Yeah.
But for his own electrician business, it doesn't help really at all. So there is no incentive to make content.
Yeah.
You know? And so it like clicked for me of why it is the way it is. Because if you're going to go make educational content, the only thing that you could sell everyone who watches this show is a digital product or service at the end of the day, right? Or they can invest with you or what, but like, it's not like, you know, I ran into this problem with my real estate brokerage when I had it, you know? We had a real estate brokerage here in Vegas, had 200 agents, and it's like, I can only sell people a home here in Las Vegas only, but less than 1% of the people who watch the show are in Las Vegas. So it's not even like beneficial to talk about it. There's no point. But you know, lots of people watch the show, want to learn how to invest in real estate. So guess what? There might be 80% interested in learning how to flip a house. So guess what? We'll talk about that. It's the only thing that like a global audience could get. So they're just like, it made me think about the world in different ways of like, you can make a ton of money without social media. In fact, far more money is made without social media. I think what we're doing is actually the hard way to go about it.
Yeah. I think Grant said that, right? That like sooner or later, he's going to have to give up who he currently is to get to the next level.
Yeah. And he's realizing that at 60 something. And he's like, you know, I'm focusing on wealth management and all these things.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. With that being said, how does that impact how you navigate, your business, being that you do have a big brand, obviously other businesses, but knowing that, how does that change or impact?
Yeah, I think, so here's what I will say about those guys too. They do desire the benefits of social media. They don't need it to make money, but the benefit of being known and the doors that it opens and having influence over a lot of people is very valuable. You know, like even the people who are like conspiracy theorists and they talk about like, I don't know, the Jews controlling people.
Yeah.
Or George Soros having this thing that he's doing with like, there's all these different conspiracy theories about rich people controlling the media.
Yeah.
It's
conspiracy theorist?
because the media influences. So it's like rich people can buy influence, paying influencers or the networks or whatever. So like everybody
That's
wants
what I'm saying. Rich people can buy influence and can drive their sale like higher than normal people can. So
influence and power because
they have leverage. People like us, unfortunately, we don't, unless if we are connected to people.
It's an important thing.
Yeah.
For whatever your agenda is. Like if I really believe that everyone should be a Christian, then I have to learn how to have influence.
Yeah.
To promote Christianity. Because somebody else who has a different agenda will have influence to go promote a different agenda, you know? So it's like influence is really important. They all value it. It's just like they don't need it for their business. Whereas like for us, we need influence for our business and media for our business. And it just so happens as a byproduct, you can also impact and influence a lot of people, even if you don't sell them anything. Like this podcast, I ain't selling nothing. Like it's going to help people and impact people, and it's great. It has a dual like outcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to still always do it is my point. But like, I'm going to also be getting into businesses that don't even require it.
Yeah.
So what room
are you going to get into storage?
No, not right now. I want to start another business, but it needs to be high ticket. But what?
Bro,
I wonder when you start another business, like, do you leave your other business? Do you sell it? Or do you just like continue with that business, just like Elon Musk? So Elon has like so many businesses, but he like
you could go get a storage unit and go make $5-10 grand a month net. You just
I need like high ticket. But what room do you think you need to get into?
With M&T Bank, I feel like I can reach out anytime.
Freaking hate.
I think it's a similar room like what you just shared. I'm in a self-storage mastermind, so that's why we out here in Vegas. But I'm around people that's like at the highest level in self-storage, like $50 million deals, $100 million deals. So I'm seeing it, right? Even like one of my goals is to be in the money business, right? And this is one thing that I learned like 3 years back, and it's a goal, right? So I was at one of the mastermind events, and the speaker got on the stage.
Help you too. Like that's how you gain motivation too from it.
And he said, this is how we, built our private lending business, right? He said, we're in the money business and I make $10,000 a day in interest on my money.
Dang.
$10,000 a day in interest, like not principal. That's what money makes me while I'm on the beach with my family, sand between my toes. And we started to break it down. He said that he got with 10 other people, group of friends, they put up $1 million each. And the $10 million, they put it into insurance, and now they lend out for self-storage investments. So somebody like myself who's an investor will borrow the money from this company, and they get paid interest on this money, but essentially they're not in the day-to-day of running the business, right? They're in the day-to-day of just making money off of money. You know? So me seeing that at a high level, like these are the type of goals that I have, like and being in different rooms like that. So I mean, just really networking and thinking higher.
Yeah.
Like that's ultimately what we need, and having, the integrity too. You're around certain rooms and.
Dude, another thing I thought about too recently is that it's like stair stepping. So it's like when you don't know anything, you have to like be in a room where it's about one thing in one thing only.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I want to learn wholesaling, let's just say. It's like, bro, ignore everything else.
Yeah.
Don't even think about self-storage. Don't even think about Airbnb. Don't think about buying like you have to just, whatever that first lane's going to be, just freaking do it. Whatever the choice is. I don't really care, right? And then like you get into masterminds around that. And so you're just like, okay, self-storage is the thing. So I'm going to get in masterminds and do like, this is what I did too. Is like, I went into that, then I got into real estate masterminds and, you know, you do that. But then at some point, you know, the information becomes very repetitive because it's like, there's only a few ways to do self-storage. Like it's not a very complex business at the end of the day. And so you realize there's not a ton of innovation happening once you've kind of like mastered it to a degree. And then, you know, for me anyways, the most help I got was getting out of my own bubble of house flippers and wholesalers. And so then I started getting around gurus and content creators and, you know, guys making content and social media. And guess what? Like that opened my mind to a whole new world. I was like, oh, you know, these guys are actually even making more money than these guys. And these guys have these skills and different things. And so, you know, I immersed myself in that world. And then I took some of the things I learned from that world into the real estate world. So, you know, it was like we started doing marketing for sellers through Facebook ads and all the things I was learning on the content side, and our ads and our things were better, you know? Then it made raising money easier because I had a brand and, you know, all that stuff. And then like if I'm to now talk about like what, you know, you asked the next room, it's like, okay, so now I'm in these rooms at M19 where nobody is doing what I'm doing. They're all in random freaking blue. I would never sit there in a landscaping business or a electrician's business, but now I'm hearing about what they do to do $20-30 million a year. And I'm like, that's interesting. So you guys do that. And then you know, people are talking, like I was talking to a guy at M19 who, they have $1 billion of under management, wealth management firm. So $1 billion, typical wealth management firm for easy numbers makes like 1% on the money managed. So the business brings in $10 million a year. I've done $10 million a year. Like it's not, this isn't much different in terms of revenue. What's different is how it's valued.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, dude, wealth management firms get valued at 10x revenue, not EBITDA, revenue.
Damn.
And I was like, 10x revenue, why? Because they don't leave. It's like one of the stickiest businesses in the world, wealth management. He's like, I get offered all the time to, you know, people to buy it for 9 figures. Every month, there's a PE firm trying to buy them for 9 figures. I'm like, why don't you sell? He goes, and then it's like, because real estate investors don't have this problem.
Yeah.
We're not offered these situations to even think about it, you know, nor are gurus and content creators. They don't have these problems. So I'm starting to talk to this guy. I'm like, so tell me about, why wouldn't you sell? He goes, well, you know, okay, I sell it. There's taxes when you have a sale that big, right? So a lot of it goes to IRS. And then, you know, you're sitting on, let's just say 100 million or whatever the number is. And you got to invest it. So what are you going to invest in, right? Like you're going to put it in something. It's not just sitting there in cash. So he goes, you know what I would invest my money in? A wealth management firm. He goes, it's like my favorite kind of business. It prints money. It like is so sticky. I know it better than anything. It's like, you're like, yeah, if I got more money, you know what I would do? I'd invest in more storage units. Like you invest in what you know. And so he's like, so why would I sell? Because I already own what I would sell. And I own what I would buy. Like, and then I don't pay taxes if I don't sell it. And I was like, that makes sense. Because, you know, if you're already netting $5 million a year, it's not changing your life selling it. You're already, and he knows he's going to keep making that every year. And it's not passive, but it's actually like net cash flow, not like a lot of the things that we deal with in real estate. So anyways, I was like, wow, that's the first time I've heard of somebody, and it has a logical reason of why they wouldn't sell their business for 9 figures. But you listen to every guru on social media, their goal is to get a 9-figure exit. I've met more people in N19 who don't sell than ones who do, who have 9-figure values. And they all have similar reasons for why they're not selling. Dude, I was golfing with my buddy. He does like all the freights in Hawaii. I was golfing with him last week. He's in M19 too. He said they got offered, I'm not going to say the number here, but multiple 9 figures. They do over 9 figures in revenue a year at big margins. And I was like, bro, why did you sell? He's like, what am I going to do?
Mm.
We already bring home, like, I already lived the life I want. Like, it's not going to change my life at all. Like, what's the point? You know? And I was like, yeah. So it's like, I just would never hear these things in those other rooms.
Yeah.
Where PE firms are aggressively trying to buy you for 9-figure values and, you know, all these things. Like, you don't even get to understand why they would say no. It's like, you know, back in the day when you were at the barbershop, it's like, dude, you hear about a guy making 100,000. You're like, bro, you must be lit.
Yeah.
What kind of car you got? You know, like, these are the first questions that pop in your mind. And then you sound so stupid later on. You're like, yeah, that was dumb. You know, and then you hear a guy making $1 million on selling courses and you're like, bro, this guy made $1 million. Then he's like, well, bro, I spent like 600,000 in ads. And you're like, oh, this guy didn't even really make anything, you know? And it's like, I don't know. You get in different rooms with people who are actually honest and will share with you the details. You start to realize like all the things going on in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it sounds like I just need to build something that I wouldn't want to quit and has high
to be literally
earning potential.
Addicted. It's not only that. You can't just jump into so many things. Even if you do, that means you have ADHD, which sometimes could work, but whichever works, man. Choose one thing and stick at it and see where it fucking takes you.
Because like wholesaling is like a cash business.
Yeah.
Like I wholesale and flip. It's like every month you have to look for the next deal. It's a constant like sales and marketing game with leads and sales and then people to do.
That's
that.
literally what I was the Kinders guy. Back to him. We were walking to dinner and he goes, "So what's your plan with M19?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know. It's like 8 months old. Like I don't really have a plan. It's just great." And you know, he's like, "So how do you plan to scale it? Like if, you know, as it grows in members, are you like, how's that?" I was like, "Well, we'll have more trips and this and that." He's like, "Oh, okay, that'll be tight." You know, as a member, he's just asking like for himself. He's like, "So what's your plan? Like, you know, for the business, like all that?" I was like, "I don't know." He goes, "Bro, I would never sell this business." Because this is the best business ever. You just golf with cool people all day. And it's like recurring revenue and everything. I was like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. And he goes, like, that's every entrepreneur's, once you reach the final stage of entrepreneurship of like the dilemma is like, you've made enough from the business and you will continue to make enough. So a sale doesn't even impact you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So then it just becomes an enjoyment and a purpose thing of like, you will have no financial difference whether you sell or not. So then the question becomes for a lot of these guys who have like, they've only done one business for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Their identity to a degree is wrapped up in the business. They can't even imagine what would happen without going to work every day.
Yeah.
Be stuck with their wives.
Last quick story for me. So my father-in-law got sick last year. My wife and my kids and I went to Louisville for the summer, right? He got a brain tumor. He had surgery. So we were over there taking care of him, right? He built a bottling business. So he makes bottles and packages, bottles for Lucas Oil. So huge company. So while we were over there, I went to their warehouse. They have like 100,000 square feet. It's like gigantic bottling plant. And I was like, all right, this is cool. It's kind of like whatever. It's just boxes and bottles everywhere. It's like nothing really, it's cool to see, but it's like whatever. And then on the weekends, we would go to my wife's sister's or brother's house. So she has like 5 siblings. They all live in Louisville. And, you know, we'd barbecue and, you know, go to the pool and just hang out and all this stuff. And then one day it hit me. I'm like, dude, this guy built a business in Louisville. He's from Mexico. So came here, built a business in Louisville. All 5 of his kids work at his plant. They all get paid more than they should. They get paid, you know, 6 figures or more when their roles are really not worth that. Their husbands or wives also.
We will get you 1 million views or you don't pay. And if you give me 15 seconds, I'll explain exactly.
These freaking ads, I swear to.
Company. And they all get to just hang out. And he would go to work every day and see his kids and his kids' wives and husbands, stuff like that. And to me, that was the first time I was like, okay, like that's the goal.
Yes,
It's not to make a bunch of money and then give your daughter a house. It's like, can you make a bunch of money and give her or your son something to do? Because it was like, if it wasn't for that, I don't know what they would do, and they wouldn't have an incentive to all live near each other and all be around each other every single day.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
And like at Chick-fil-A, that's what they did, and In-N-Out Burger.
Chick-fil-A did that.
Yeah, I mean, like they're just family business. They're still private. They've never sold a franchise. They own them all. And they all have Christian values and different things. And when you're privately owned, you can do whatever you want. You know. And but that's my point is, like, on social media, everybody pursues like a big exit as like a flex, right? And it's like the real world doesn't really work like that. For the people who are actually like, from what I've seen, the people who are able to do it, I've seen far more not do it than do it. And then I ask them their reasons, and it's like, it makes sense. Why is your father-in-law not selling his thing? It's worth a lot. It makes good money. Like, let's pass it down to the family. We made enough money. It's all good.
Yeah. And they all have jobs, and they, instead of selling, it's like, all right, you guys all get $1 million now, like, go drink and become alcoholics. It's like they all go to work and they all love it, and it's great.
Yep.
It was good. And because also, like, at that level, right, and being in rooms that you just shared, is like, what do you do next, right? Like,
I don't know.
What do I do next? And then I just gonna pay Uncle Sam a bunch of money, and it's more valuable, meaningful when you're able to build something for your family. Build a life versus just handing out a check.
Yep.
I will say I'm a flipper, so like, and I've started 1 million businesses, so I'm like unattached to everything. So like, for me, if I sold something, I would already have like the next thing
lined up. Already.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be bored. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna take this money and then I'm gonna go do this thing and that thing. And
I think about my kids now too, though, because I have 4 boys, and I look at them sometimes. I'm like, should I like build something for them? Because like, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, and I have such an advantage because of time in real estate and my experience, and they might not be as good as entrepreneur as I am. Like, is it my responsibility to build something for them?
How old are your kids?
I got a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So
Okay, so they're young.
Yeah, I'm fresh.
Yeah.
How old are your children?
I got a 15-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 2-month-old.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
You got
a big gap.
Yeah, I got 4, 7, and under.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, dude. I also think I'm also of the belief that businesses are, especially small businesses, their life cycles are going to be significantly lower than ever before because of AI.
Yeah.
Like what used to take a small business 10 years to go out of business became 5, and it's becoming 1.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I think everything is hyper compressing for good or bad. Like, you're either going to shoot quicker or you're going to go out of business quicker. Like, that's what I think tech and AI is doing. Because like, today it's not, I don't think there's any college kids, I said this before, that are going into the workforce thinking they're going to have a 20, 30-year career at one company. Like, that used to be the norm, with our parents and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go with this one company and work there for 30 years. Like, that's just not a thing anymore.
No.
We should ask them. We should go to UNLV and be like, what do you think is about to happen when you graduate?
Maybe they're dumber than you think.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Maybe they do
Like,
think that, but like, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah. So I wonder what they think.
I hope they don't think that, because it's not a thing. Like, the corporate ladder is not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
They have to know that by looking at all of these Fortune 500 companies laying everyone off.
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah, this is going to be rough.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it. Lazy and ignorance.
Yeah. They could be ignorant. If they're young, because when you're a child, you just don't know.
And maybe your parents just tell you that this is the way it is.
Yeah.
And you just believe it. And it's like, yeah, that was 50 years ago.
Yeah, for my daughter, she likes bugs. And yesterday we were playing with bugs. And I was like, baby, do you want to be a veterinarian? She's like, I don't know. And then I just spiraled all night. I'm like, what is my daughter going to do? What is she going to do for work, dude? With AI, like, what the hell is about to happen? Is she going to be able to find a job? Or, I don't know.
Be an entrepreneur.
Be an entrepreneur.
Build something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really where it's going. You have to learn how to build something or leverage AI, like in some type of service or skill set. That's just where it is right now. Going to get a job, just going to college, getting a degree, getting a job, and going 20, 30 years. It's just not. It's a trap. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, this.
It's not even a trap. You could go to college and still make comfortable money, but man, it's the right idea. You got to figure out the right idea in this whole niche space. If it's not taken, then
This was fun, man. Hey, where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials, Mogul Lifestyle _. That's MOGULLIFESTYLE _ all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, you can find me there.
There we go. Mogul Lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
That's easier to say than your name.
Actually,
so I like that
too.
All right, let me see it.
I got to get something for you, Brian. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Brian, I'll share it with you.
Yeah, you can share.
I'll share it with you.
Is there
Too.
cookies in there?
Nah, no cookies. Just nice,
Oh, there we go. Vote cash
Caffeine,
flow.
bro.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get behind that.
Yeah, so
That reminds me of a MAGA hat. Let's see.
Yeah, how do you feel about Trump? Let's
Davila. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you get the shirt, Davila. I'll get the hat. Actually, no, we got to cover your bald head.
I'll get the hat.
Yeah, you'll get the hat. There we go. Mogul Lifestyle. I love it, bro. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. Appreciate you having me. It was a great time. Second time I got a chance to build with and connect with you, but just keep going, keep winning. I appreciate it. It was a great time.
There we go. Did he get better since last time?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Dressed way better. I don't remember
His
last time.
portfolio was better.
His portfolio's better. Hairline stronger.
You still got the bald head.
Yeah, I still got bald.
There we go. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching the last episode.
That's
If
freaking
you enjoyed it, make sure you catch the next episode that's playing right now.
All right. We have a little bit of time. Probably like 20, 40 more minutes. What else can we watch?
Begless Nation excited. Talon back on into the cryptoverse. That's where we're going today. Ben, is the cycle over?
I mean, I think for Bitcoin it is, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, a little bit different. It obviously did finally go to its regression band, which it felt like, we spent forever and a half waiting for. That finally happened, and it rallied out of that. And, I had been kind of under the impression that what it was going to do was sweep the prior all-time high, fall back down about 30%, and then go back up. But it's obviously gone down a little bit more than 30%, right? I think it's probably closer to like 40% now. Yeah, it's currently down to about 40%. It went down about 47%. So, and you can see it's actually just above the regression band itself. Like it's kind of just above it, just like it was back over in like 2022 and late 2022 and then 2023 and then 2024, it struggles to want to go into the regression band. So I don't want to say it's impossible for Ethereum to do it. Like it could. This pattern is a pattern we actually saw Tesla go through. Coincidentally enough, I know that seems kind of out of left field, but when you think about what Ethereum did, it had a high, right? It then put in a low, and then it put in a macro higher low, right? And, the first low was at around 1,000, and then the second low was at around 1,400, right? Now, if you go look at the Tesla chart, what you'll find is almost the exact same thing, right? Like you had a low by Tesla. The first low was at around 100, and the second low was at about 130, 140.
Million cryptos.
The IRS is coming for your crypto gains, but it doesn't have to be that way. With a crypto IRS.
Last year, 11.6 million cryptos went to zero. That's 32,000 tokens dying every day.
Wow.
Yes, most of them were memes with a lifespan shorter than a carton of milk left out in the sun. But plenty were sitting in portfolios, bleeding slowly, held by bag holders waiting for a recovery that will never come. So, how do you know if your bags are deceased or just taking a power nap? And if it's the former, when do you finally pull the plug? My name is Guy, and this is the Coin Bureau. Before we begin though, nothing in this video is financial advice. I can't tell you what to buy or sell, and you can't outsource your decisions to YouTubers and expect to do well. What I can tell you is how to check for vital signs, spot the difference between accumulation and distribution, and come to terms with bag death. So, if that sounds good, smash that like.
Let's dig in.
So, a new industry report has tallied the number of dead cryptos, and good grief, there are a lot. According to CoinGecko, since 2021, more than half of all cryptos tracked on Gecko Terminal have failed. That means that if you picked a random altcoin, the odds of it going to zero were worse than a coin flip. Now, I'm sure most of you knew this instinctively because clearly most cryptos aren't long for this world. But last year was something else. 11.6 million cryptos wiped out. And to put that into perspective, that means 86% of all crypto deaths in the last 5 years, all concentrated in just 1 year. And the closer you look, the more gruesome it gets. 7.7 million of those crypto deaths happened in Q4 last year alone. So, 35% of all the cryptos that died since 2021 died in the last 3 months of 2025. Now, unless you've been in hibernation since Q3, you'll know what happened here. The 10th of October last year saw the biggest liquidation event in crypto market history, wiping $19 billion in leveraged positions off the map in a matter of hours. Thinly traded tokens with shallow liquidity pools were vaporized instantly, and the market as a whole has been struggling to find its footing ever since. However, the October massacre wasn't the beginning of crypto's rolling mass extinction event. In 2024, Pump.Fund's token launchpad industrialized the process of launching a scam, and crypto hasn't been quite the same ever since. Process of launch 4, Pump beginning of to find its footing ever since. However, the October massacre wasn't the beginning of crypto's rolling mass extinction event. In 2024, Pump.Fund's token launchpad industrialized the process of launching a scam, and crypto hasn't been quite the same ever since. It used to take a team to pull off a decent rug. You needed a website, a plagiarized white paper, maybe a fake LinkedIn profile for your CTO. Now it takes 2 minutes and the ability to prompt a meme generator. The barrier to entry collapsed to near zero, and the floodgates duly opened. The total number of crypto projects exploded from around 428,000 in 2021 to more than 20 million by the end of 2025. The tiny minority of these that saw any significant trading volume mostly pumped on the back of influencer shills and wash-traded volume, dumped at the first sign of non-insider wallets bidding, and nuked irretrievably, all within a few hours. Now, the vast majority of tokens launched in this way are, by definition, meme coins, as there is no project to speak of. The ticker and the chart are the token's raison d'etre. You could argue that this is the altcoin in its most efficient form, liberated from the window dressing and stripped down to its essence. And obviously, if you flood the market with meme coins, you're going to see meme coins bear the brunt when liquidity dries up. With no product, development, revenue model, or likable meme to fall back on, these deaths are usually foregone conclusions. Not all deaths look the same though, especially when you leave pump.fun and go further down the effort curve. Some cryptos went to zero because the developer drained the liquidity pool and peaced out. Others bled out slowly over months, their holders clinging to the hope of a reversal that never came. And then there are the zombies, cryptos with billion-dollar market caps that still technically exist, still show up on trackers, but generate almost no activity and have no path forward. Statistically speaking, most cryptos do eventually die, and sooner rather than later. Many are dead on arrival or have an extremely short lifespan, but not all. The question for altcoin holders is then, what type of body bag are you clinging onto? As we all know, a crypto can technically exist forever on a blockchain. You might have had the same tokens sitting in your wallet for years. The smart contract is still deployed on-chain, immutable and permanent. But existing is not quite the same thing as being alive, and in crypto, the distance between the two is measured in liquidity. There's no universally agreed standard or threshold for determining when a crypto is dead, but that shouldn't mean it's hard for you to judge for yourself. So we suggest starting with 3 simple criteria. Firstly, no trading activity for an extended period of time. CoinGecko marks as inactive cryptos that haven't been traded a single time in 30 days. This doesn't necessarily mean they can't be traded again and be reinstated as active. But in reality, it's safe to say that this is extremely rare. 0 trades in a day is a bad sign, 0 trades in a week is 99% dead, and 0 trades in a month is lost to history. The trading volume flatline is usually the first sign. A coin or token that records 0 volume for days or even a few hours at a time is very likely receiving 0 interest and has been abandoned. If even the wash trading bots have moved on, it suggests there are not even any insiders left to pull the strings and ensnare exit liquidity. Without volume, there's no price discovery, which means there's no realistic way to exit the position without nuking what's left of the value yourself. Now, the second criteria is delisting, which is functionally somewhere between a death sentence and a death certificate. When a major exchange removes a crypto, usually citing low volume, weak development, or regulatory concerns, it usually kills whatever liquidity remained. And of course, if the crypto never even made it to a tier 1 exchange before being delisted from a lower tier exchange, it doesn't bode well. It may still exist on some DEX with $47 in the liquidity pool, but at that point, the prospects of it staging a recovery for you to sell into aren't great. And third, there's the rug pull, which isn't so much a death as it is a murder. In the first half of 2025 alone, losses from scams and rug pulls exceeded $2 billion. These are cryptos where the developer drained the entire liquidity pool overnight, often within minutes of the initial pump, and just walked away. The token still shows up in your wallet. The contract is still on chain. It just has no extractable value left whatsoever. Now, there is a tricky grey area in some cases where a crypto may appear dead when it is actually in an accumulation phase. The chart could be down 90%, volume anemic, social media gone quiet, holders capitulated. That setup is either the last trickle of volume before the crypto goes to absolute zero, or it's the exact moment before institutional players and sharp traders quietly load up at the bottom while everyone else has given up. The difference between those two scenarios is what every bag holder's dreams are made of. But you might not be able to tell which one it is just by looking at the price. Because it's not price, but volume that should tell you whether anyone still cares about a particular crypto. However, not all volume is created equal. Crypto markets are absolutely rife with wash trading, where a single entity trades with itself to create the illusion of activity. This is especially rampant on lower tier exchanges, where there may be relatively little oversight, and on DEXs where there's absolutely none. So, A token showing high reported volume isn't a sign of life if that volume comes from the same handful of wallets trading back and forth. In that case, you're looking at a low-rate manipulator trying to keep the lights on just long enough to find exit liquidity. The giveaway is looking at unique wallet interactions versus total volume. If the numbers don't appear to make sense, well, then they don't. Meanwhile, another useful and underused indicator is on-balance volume. Now, OBV tracks cumulative buying and selling pressure by adding volume on up days and subtracting it on down days. If price is bleeding but OBV is rising or holding steady, it suggests that there are bidders absorbing the capitulation. If OBV is flatlining alongside price, or worse, declining faster than price, the token is being abandoned. You should also keep an eye on liquidity depth. If market cap is a vanity metric, liquidity is a sanity metric. A crypto can show a $100 million valuation on a tracker, but if there's only $50,000 sitting in the liquidity pool, that number is meaningless. The 2% market depth metric measures how much capital it takes to move the price by 2%. If a $5,000 sell order crashes the price, the market cap might as well be written in crayon. It's ghost liquidity, a number that evaporates the moment someone tries to realize it. A healthy project typically maintains liquidity at around 1 to 5% of its market cap. Anything meaningfully below that and you're holding an asset you can't sell without obliterating your own position. Of course, there is the question of whether that liquidity is even safe. Any good token screening tool will let you check if the liquidity pool tokens are locked. If the developer holds 100% of the LP tokens and they're unlocked, well, the project is one transaction away from vanishing. Locked liquidity at least means the developer can't drain the pool on a whim, though it says nothing about whether the project has any actual future. Meanwhile, developer activity is another vital sign worth checking if the crypto purports to have some project associated with it. Cryptocurrencies are software protocols, and software requires maintenance. A GitHub repository with 0 commits in the last 6 months is therefore a ghost ship, abandoned by the crew and drifting towards the rocks. But this metric is low-hanging fruit for scammers who have adapted and will often fork active repositories to make their project appear busy. Others make trivial updates, editing a README file, changing a comment in the code, just to generate commit activity on the chart. That's why you can't just look at whether there are commits, you have to check what the devs are actually doing on those commits. Are they fixing bugs, adding features, responding to issues, or are they just rearranging the furniture to create the illusion of work? And being code illiterate is no excuse in 2026. Run it by an LLM and it will tell you exactly what the devs are cooking, or not. On that note though, in the age of AI agent coding, GitHub activity is likely going to become a less reliable indicator of project liveness, because even the most low-effort scams can now have fully functioning software products that are not vaporware, despite next to no human effort, time, or talent being invested. Now, at any rate, a confluence of these signals matters more than any single one. If volume is dead, liquidity is drained, and GitHub shows no meaningful activity, the crypto is dead. But if price is down while volume is quietly rising, liquidity is stable or growing, and developers, perhaps even human ones, are still shipping code, well, that's another story. And by the way, if you're liking this video, you'll love our weekly newsletter where we break down the biggest stories in crypto each week. You can sign up for free using the link in the description. And while you're at it, why not check out the exclusive deals we've secured for viewers of this channel, including eye-watering sign-up bonuses and trading fee discounts on the best crypto exchanges, great deals on hardware wallets, and much more besides. All that right behind this QR code. Worth checking out. Now, not all dead cryptos look dead. Some have billion-dollar market caps, active exchange listings, and social media accounts still trundling along. Some have cults of bag holders who will fight tooth and nail to defend them, so we'd better not name any names. But many are nonetheless zombie projects, technically alive, functionally irrelevant. They're not dead in the sense that they've been delisted or rugged. The networks still operate, but their valuations are held up by the possibility of future adoption, which always seems to be just around the corner, but never quite arrives. Indeed, Forbes named and shamed an entire category of so-called zombie blockchains a few years back, much to crypto Twitter's dismay. Chains that maintain massive valuations despite generating almost no fees or revenue relative to their market caps. Many are still top 100, top 50, even top 10 cryptos. The question for holders of these living dead cryptos is, does any of this even matter? Well, we think it depends. The more obscure a project is, the greater chance there is that it gets forgotten and does not recover during broader crypto market rallies. Conversely, larger cap cryptos, projects that already have a critical mass of name recognition, trading volume and liquidity, are much more likely to join in such rallies, regardless of their project fundamentals or functional zombie status. Here, we're getting close to spilling over into a debate about fundamental versus technical analysis. That's maybe a topic for another video, but we'll just emphasize here that market structure is ultimately king. There is no reason to ignore a zombie project if its market structure flips bullish, meaning that the chart prints a convincing series of higher lows and higher highs on high timeframes. Likewise, there are no fundamentals or catalysts that are bullish enough to save an asset with broken market structure, meaning one in a clear high timeframe downtrend, until that is, the market structure shifts again. So, in short, ignore what the chart is saying at your peril. If a crypto you thought dead shows signs of a high timeframe bullish market structure, higher highs, higher lows, increasing volume, increasing velocity, then disbelief will only cost you an opportunity. Take Solana, for example. Sol fell by more than 95% between November 2021 and November 2022 when FTX collapsed. FTX looked like the final nail in the coffin for Solana, which spent almost all of 2023 in a grueling range between around $13 and $32. Sentiment was very poor, volumes were low, and many market participants appeared to have written Solana off. But, as it turned out, this was only a near-death experience. Sol started closing candles above this range in Q4, and it was off to the races again. It went on to rally to above $263 over the next year. Now, this may be an exception rather than the rule, because most dead cryptos are not coming back. However, we think the more important takeaway here is just to keep an eye on market structure and high timeframe candle closures. So, while your peers are trying to use fundamental analysis to explain why a dead coin pumped or a living coin dumped yesterday, the chart will show you trends as they emerge and, crucially, when they reverse in real time. Richard Wyckoff's market structure framework gave us the language we used to describe what we saw with Solana in 2023, namely accumulation. He also coined the term distribution to describe what we see with other assets that collapse and meander in the same way but fail to recover, as Sol did. Both accumulation and distribution can look like what some call sideways or choppy price action, but there are important patterns that distinguish the two. A crypto in distribution will be printing lower lows and lower highs, with volume that spikes only on the way down. Price slices through support levels without any defense. There's no convincing demand, just bleeding.
Got you. Okay, well,